Hello, my name is Rory Peterson. I'm with Coast to Coast Legal Aid, and I'm a paralegal that handles Social Security cases. Today, we're going to be discussing Social Security overpayments. It's going to be a general overview. So before we get started, we want to do a little bit of housekeeping. This presentation is not intended to provide any kind of legal advice. It's current as of today, March 12th. The PowerPoint may not be reproduced, distributed, copied, or cited in any way without our permission. And if you want more information, please visit our website or give us a call at the number listed on your screen. Next slide. So what is an overpayment? An overpayment is when you receive more money in a month than the amount you should have been paid. So the amount of the overpayment is going to be the difference between the amount you received versus the amount you should have received. Next slide. There's many different things that can cause an overpayment. If your living arrangement changes, were you living with somebody, now you're not living with somebody. If you're married, now you're not, or vice versa. If you're on SSDI and went back to work and you estimated more income, you received more income than what you actually estimated, that'll cause an overpayment. For SSI, you're only allowed to have a certain amount of money each month on resources. That can cause an overpayment if you go over that resource limit. If you are no longer disabled and you continue to receive benefits, you don't report a change, or even Social Security figures your benefits incorrectly. All those things can cause an overpayment. Next slide. So what can you expect from Social Security if there's an overpayment? They're going to send you a notice, and they're going to tell you if you're currently getting payments and you don't make a full refund, then the notice is going to tell you how much they're going to withhold, and Social Security by law can withhold the lesser of 10% or the entire monthly benefit. So you do need to act on an overpayment right away. It'll state the month that they're going to withhold any monies from you. They're going to explain your appeal rights, how you can appeal it, what paperwork to use, and they'll explain that you can ask for a review from Social Security and ask that they waive the overpayment, so you may not have to pay it back. Next slide. So how can you resolve that overpayment? There's several ways that you can resolve it. One is, and the first most important one is by filing an appeal. And you have 60 days from the date of the notice that you received informing you of that overpayment. You have 60 days from the date of that notice to file an appeal. And then if your appeal is denied, you can request a hearing before the administrative law judge, and you have 60 days from the date of that notice, the appeal denial, to file that request for the hearing. Next slide, please. The second option is you can enter into a repayment agreement, and you can do this at any time. So if you can't afford to have Social Security withhold up to 10% of your benefit for SSI recipients, or all of your benefit for people receiving SSDI or Social Security retirement, you can negotiate a lesser amount, but be prepared to provide proof that you cannot afford that 10% or the full withholding. So you'll have to submit a form, and more than likely have to submit proof of like your expenses. Another way you can resolve an overpayment is by requesting a waiver. But to be successful with the waiver, you have to show it wasn't your fault and you can't afford to pay it back. And you would do that by completing a request for waiver of overpayment recovery rate. Next slide. You can also include the overpayment in a bankruptcy. Coast to Coast Legal Aid does not handle bankruptcies. And so you would need to contact a private attorney, and you can do that through the Broward County Bar Association and the numbers listed. The last and final option to resolve an overpayment is to pay the overpayment in full to Social Security. Next slide. So what is an appeal? An appeal is basically your chance to ask Social Security to review the overpayment. You can tell them why you don't agree that you've been overpaid or why you believe the overpayment amount is incorrect. A waiver is a request that you're asking that either some or all of your overpayment be waived because you don't believe it was your fault that the overpayment occurred and you can't afford to pay it back, or any other reason you might have for wanting to try and get it waived. But again, you have to show it wasn't your fault and you can't afford to pay it back. You have to prove both of those in order to be successful with the waiver. Next slide. So there are a couple of options that you can try. So if your original overpayment is less than $2,000 or less, you can request what's called an administrative waiver. But in order to be successful with that, it can't be that 2,000 can't be a combination of several overpayments. You get one overpayment, it's $2,000 or less, you can request an administrative waiver. But this does not apply to SSI cases where your overpayment is caused directly by being over the resource limit. I think there's you can request something similar to the administrative waiver on those type of cases for if the amount you were over the resources is $50 or less. So while your appeal is being processed, it's very important for you to know that Social Security has to stop any collection effort. So while you're on the initial appeal, Social Security cannot send you notices asking for collection of this overpayment amount. However, once your appeal has been decided, if it's been denied, Social Security will resume collection efforts, even if you've requested a hearing before the judge. So for the appeal, no collections can be attempted. If you got the decision on the appeal and it was a denial, Social Security can resume those collection efforts, even though you've requested the hearing before the judge. Next slide. So for any other information regarding overpayments, you can go to the Social Security website at ssa.gov, and you should be able to find a wealth of information on overpayments. Next slide. So this is an overview of what Coast to Coast Legal Aid does in each of the units that we have. This is not a concrete list. It does change as the needs in the community change. And so this just gives you an idea of what we do at our firm. Next slide. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I think. Go to our website. And if you have any other questions, you can call our intake line at 954-736-2400. And if you're savvy to all kinds of technology, you can scan the QR code that's on the screen and get more information. Next slide. Have a great day.